What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News Round 2, and I have some new news concerning Terence Bud Crawford. He's set to fight Kell Brook November 14th, sources say. Okay, Terence Crawford, one of the world's best pound-for-pound boxers, and Kell Brook have agreed to a deal for a welterweight title fight November 14th. ESPN sources say that Terence Crawford will earn an upward of $4 million in the fourth defense of his 147-pound title, and which will happen in either Las Vegas or Omaha, Nebraska. Okay. Brook will earn around $2 million. Bud was hoping to fight Errol Spence in 2020, but the unified champion is facing Danny Garcia, of course, on November 21st in his first action fight since he suffered the very serious crash. Okay, and in the meantime, of course, the 33-year-old, now 33 years of age, Terence Crawford will face Brook, a former welterweight champion who hasn't scored a meaningful win since 2014's victory over Shawn Porter. Crawford, a three-division champ, is coming off a December stoppage over Mean Machine Kavaliauskas. Okay, now, when I heard this, I'm thinking progress for Terence Crawford because, hey, something is better than nothing. I mean, it is. Let's look at what we have. What we have is a fighter that it's hard for him to get fights due to the promotional company that he's involved with. That's one way of looking at it without going deeper into it. Okay, everyone else is on PBC. Errol Spence, PBC. Shawn Porter, PBC. Keith Thurman, PBC. Danny Garcia, PBC. Manny Pacquiao, former PBC. So, you have a lot of these guys that are in a welterweight division that really don't care. They either turn it down or it gets to a situation where the money can't even come to an agreement because, it's weird to me. It's like the promotional companies look at money with different currencies. You know what I mean? Like, is it where you don't take cryptocurrency because you use vet currency or whatever? He has to stay busy. He fought Khan. He fought Horn to get the WBO title, cleaning up what Manny Pacquiao kind of struggled to do. Jose Benavidez, he beat him, knocked him out in the 12th round. And, of course, it was Mean Machine. So, now it's Brook. Here's my thing about Brook. Brook's a very good fighter. I just wish this was the Brook before Brook got his face broken. How will his face hold up? Terence Crawford is a mean fellow. Okay? He's a very mean fellow. And if he does break his face, again, if it gets broken into another area of his face or more insult to injury, this is what we'll have. On top of that, will Kell Brook make weight? Because Kell Brook, he went to 160 and he looked good up there. He probably shouldn't have been there fighting someone like Golovkin. But at the end of the day, he did look a lot better, and it's one hell of a thing. Ask Roy Jones Jr., ask Oscar De La Hoya, for you to go from 160 to come back to 147. Now, fair play, he's only been beaten by one welterweight. He has 2 losses, but that was to a middleweight. Golovkin, I guess he earned his money or whatever, but he also took that ass beating, and then he broke his face in the meantime. Errol Spence helped break his face a little more. Will Terence Crawford do the same thing? Now, speaking of Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, that's the fight that people want to see in the welterweight division. Why is this a good thing? It's good for the same reason that Devin Haney was trying to fight Yuriorkis Gamboa, because you have to have a common opponent. What one fighter can do with one fighter versus the other. Okay, Errol Spence, I believe, went 9 to 10 rounds with Kell Brook until Kell Brook folded. If Terence Crawford can make an immense, if he can beat a so-called improved or repaired Kell Brook, he could make something more meaningful. Okay, he can make a statement by beating Kell Brook faster. Okay, that's exactly how Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather kind of gelled together when their names kept being, aligned with one another. because when Floyd beat Hitman Hatton, he beat him for the first time. He knocked him out. And De La Hoya, he stopped De La Hoya. Well, let me back up. Floyd Mayweather decision De La Hoya, and he stopped Ricky Hatton in the 10th round. Manny Pacquiao knocked out Ricky Hatton in the 3rd round and made De La Hoya quit on his stool. Okay? So when you start getting people that have common opponents, that's where we can have a comparison based on who they're fighting. So that's one of the silver linings of this fight, I feel, because Terence Crawford now can make a statement by doing what Errol Spence can do, but better, or did, but better. You know, but I think Kell Brook is a good fighter. I think that I don't know honestly about the weight and the damage to his orbital bone around this area, because when you start getting hit around this area, it's not good. Especially when it starts being fractured. Fractured and broken is 2 different things. Fractured chips of things, you know, because if you fracture something, there's always danger of refraction or adding insult to the injury. Okay? So those are my dangers. But other than that, Kell Brook, he did upset Shawn Porter, and he whooped Shawn Porter. And Shawn Porter, you know, beating Shawn Porter is no easy task, especially when you're the first one to do it. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think behind this fight of Terence Bud Crawford fighting Kell Brook. Please subscribe, and you guys been counterpunching. Peace.